Commander Zethkar had overseen the interrogation of countless prisoners across 17 star systems. The hegemony's methods were precise, calculated, and had never failed to extract information from even the most stubborn captives. Yet as he stared through the reinforced viewing panel at the human strapped to the neural extraction chair, something felt different. The prisoner, Captain Marcus Chen of the Terran Defense Corps, had been captured during the failed defense of Proxima Station 3 cycles ago. His ship's entire crew had died fighting, but Chen had survived the explosion that crippled his vessel. For 72 standard hours, he had endured the hegemony's most advanced psychological warfare techniques, without breaking. "Begin the next phase," Zethkar commanded through the intercom. Guard Sergeant Vexol entered the cell, his forearms moving with practiced efficiency as he activated the neural disruptor. The device would flood Chen's synapses with artificial memories of loss and despair, breaking even the strongest minds within minutes. Chen's body convulsed as the machine worked, but when the cycle ended, he lifted his head and looked directly at Vexol. "Rough childhood, huh?" The Krathari guard's mandibles clicked in confusion. "What?" "The way you handle that device. Mechanical, detached. Someone hurt you when you were young, taught you that emotions were weakness." Chen's voice was hoarse but steady. "I've seen it before, usually in soldiers who grew up in war zones." Vexol's grip tightened on the neural disruptor. "Silence, human." "I'm not judging," Chen continued, seemingly oblivious to his restraints. "Hell, I respect it. Takes strength to survive that kind of upbringing. But tell me something. When was the last time you actually wanted to do this job?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. Vexol had been trained to ignore prisoner psychology, but something about the human's tone made him pause. It wasn't manipulation. It was genuine curiosity. "Fascinating," Zethkar muttered from the observation deck. In decades of interrogation, he had never seen a prisoner attempt to engage their torturer in conversation. Humans were supposed to be weak, emotional creatures. Yet this one showed no fear. Over the following days, the pattern continued. Each guard who entered Chen's cell found themselves drawn into unexpected conversations. Guard Private Clintar, whose species communicated primarily through pheromones, discovered that Chen had somehow learned to recognize emotional sense despite lacking the proper sensory organs. "You're broadcasting loneliness," Chen observed during one session. "Strong as a distress beacon. How long since you've been home?" Clintar's antennae twitched nervously. 18 cycles. 18 cycles away from family. That's rough. What's keeping you here? The war. Duty. The words came out automatically, but Clintar found himself elaborating. "My clutch siblings depend on my salary." Chen nodded, understanding. "I've got a sister back on Earth. Teacher. Always worried about her students. Never saved enough for herself. That's why I joined the Corps. Someone has to protect the people who spend their lives helping others." The conversation continued for an hour, far exceeding the allotted interrogation time. When Clintar finally left, he felt something he hadn't experienced in cycles. Understood. Word spread quickly through the facility. The human prisoner wasn't breaking, he was talking. More troubling, the guards were talking back. Zethkar ordered increased security protocols, but the damage was spreading like a virus through his ranks. Guard Captain Morden, a veteran of 12 campaigns, emerged from his session with Chen looking shaken. "Sir," he reported to Zethkar, "the prisoner, he knew about Vega Prime." Vega Prime, where Morden's unit had been ordered to pacify a civilian uprising, where they had followed orders that still haunted his dreams. "He asked me what the difference was between following orders and doing what's right," Morden continued. "I couldn't answer him, sir." Zethkar's confidence began to crack. How could one broken human affect his elite guards so profoundly? He decided to confront Chen personally. The interrogation chamber felt different when Zethkar entered. Chen looked up from his restraints with those unsettling human eyes. Not defiant, not afraid, just curious. "Commander Zethkar," Chen said, as if greeting an old friend. "I've been wondering when you'd visit." You will give us the defense codes for the Terran fleet." Chen smiled, an expression that looked disturbingly genuine. "You know, I've met a lot of commanders in my time. Some lead through fear, others through respect. But you lead through competence. Your guards respect you because you're good at your job. That's rarer than you think." Despite himself, Zethkar found the compliment oddly affecting. Flattery will not flattery, observation. Chen leaned forward as much as his restraints allowed. "But here's what I can't figure out. What happens to all that competence when this war is over? The hegemony's been expanding for 2 centuries. When there's nothing left to conquer, what happens to soldiers like your guards? Like you?" The question struck Zethkar like a physical blow. The hegemony's military machine was built for perpetual expansion. He had never considered what happened when that expansion stopped. "You don't have to answer," Chen continued. "But I bet you've thought about it. Smart commanders always think ahead." Over the following weeks, Chen's influence spread throughout the facility like ripples in still water. Guards began questioning orders not out of rebellion, but from genuine curiosity about their purpose. They started talking to each other about home, about dreams beyond military service. The breakthrough came when Guard Sergeant Vexel entered Chen's cell during a shift change. Instead of activating the torture devices, he sat down across from the human. "You asked me when I last wanted this job," Vexel said quietly. "The answer is never. I've never wanted this job." Chen nodded. "So why do it?" "Because the alternative was starving. My family, my clutch. We had nothing after the hegemony conquered our world. What if there was another way?" That night, Vexel made a decision that would change everything. He contacted the Terran resistance and offered information about hegemony prison protocols. Within a week, 12 other guards had joined him. When the rescue ships arrived, they found something unprecedented. A hegemony prison facility surrendering without a fight. Its guards requesting asylum rather than executing their prisoners. Commander Zethkar stood in the empty observation deck, watching Terran ships evacuate his former subordinates. Chen had been right about one thing. He was competent enough to see the truth. The war was ending, and soldiers like him would soon be obsolete. As Chen was helped aboard the rescue vessel, he paused at the airlock and looked back at Zethkar. Even at this distance, the human's expression was clear, an invitation. 3 days later, Zethkar's encrypted message reached Terran Command. It contained complete hegemony military protocols and a single request: sanctuary for a career soldier who had finally learned the difference between following orders and doing what was right. The hegemony had expected their methods to break the human prisoner. Instead, he had shown them something far more dangerous than rebellion: the possibility of choice.